up for these a couple places around. So looking up and walking around.
This area back here that's raised will be a storage area. So there'll be an interior wall.
Watch out for these. There's a couple spots around like that.
Thank you.
Over here
Oh my God.
is where the sewer basin will go.
Right.
Yeah, since the last time you were here, we had the waterproofing there. Someone had put in the sump
Oh,
pump
okay.
with the collection for there. So
Yeah,
the
you got the sump pump.
sewer pump would be in here, I guess, in the bathroom, right?
Because the bathroom's going to be right here.
Do you have a set of plans made up for this?
I drew sort of a rough sketch, which I don't know if you have it still or if
I don't. The
I think
electrician still has
yeah,
it.
the electrician
Yeah.
I remember had asked you for it.
I understand. But you know, one of the things that would be nice is that if we had a pair of stamped plans to offer for permitting, and exactly where the walls go. And
These, the framing here, was this done with any kind of engineering?
Yeah,
It was.
Yeah.
Was there a thickened slab underneath those point loads or anything?
yeah. Underneath all of them, it was checked, and then the ones that were not thick enough, they cut out the concrete pad and poured a deeper pad underneath it.
So this will all be back in the storage room, and really the only thing we're doing back there is
Right.
fluorescent lights.
Sure.
Yeah, lights and then I think one outlet to plug in the sump pump and the sewage pump.
Yeah.
And the repair on the foundation stabilization, is that permanent?
Yeah.
Okay.
This, well, bathroom where you're standing, this in here is open around the corner here. Bar area here. The sink.
Okay, sure.
This is what I'm talking about, bar area. Over here, pool table. This is kind of the rec room.
Okay.
Mechanical room will be enclosed.
Sure.
There'll be a wall to this point. Is that
Yeah.
what you said? Yeah. But at one time, there was going to be a door into the bedroom, but
Right.
now they just want to leave it open.
Okay. Sure.
So this area back here would be a bedroom.
Okay.
Back in this corner, exercise room. And then back in here, be a workshop.
Okay. Okay. And going through all the rooms, you've got a clarification of where the walls are and the doors are point to point.
Here he went.
The room
do
size,
that.
he's
Yep.
got that, okay.
Yep.
It's,
What Greg's trying to do is make the ceilings as high as they can be. And we think we can get them at 9 foot. Some of this will have to be moved up, like the plumbing. The plumber's looked at it
right, sure.
and feels that he can move.
This is gonna be a false ceiling, so you're gonna have a,
No, they wanted a drywall ceiling.
that's what I mean, but it's gonna be a false ceiling because it's not.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
And you're gonna raise, the finished floor is where? Is this all gonna be one finished slab down here?
Yeah.
So you're gonna raise that unit up?
Yeah. Yeah. I think the concrete guy said he came in with the laser and measured and said that he'd want to have 3 inches minimally. So I think the highest point is up there, that corner, 3 inches, and then back there, the lowest point from there is, I believe, 3 1/4 inches lower. So it'd be 6 1/4 there and 3 up there. So.
Is there any kind of historic review process or anything like
Not
that?
for inside. No. if we wanna change windows and things like that, we have to do it or anything in the yard, but inside is fine for us.
You gonna leave the brick exterior facade on the walls?
Well, we were thinking about trying to insulate the set up and put sheetrock in front of it. We'd like to leave some of the pillars exposed inside.
I like that look. If you could,
Yeah.
If it had the insulation value.
Yeah, I don't know if we're sort of trying to decide. We went to look at, actually our neighbor had their basement finished and they had the same sort of thing, and they got a lot of the interior pillars repointed and then sealed, because like they tend to shed a little bit and
Right.
the mortar is so old that it just crumbles out. So we'd like to maybe leave this pillar, the other side of this one, the opposite side exposed, and maybe get them repointed and sealed. The back side of this, there's so many holes from the gas and stuff like that, but we just as soon put that inside the wall. But along the outside of the wall, probably most of it just put walls in front.
Doug, where's the panel that we'll replace? Is that it? That's, okay. I was thinking that's an awful lot of Romax coming out of that service.
Yeah, that's it.
Isn't it?
Just
The
remain
panel's
a
pretty
resident.
full.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna be turned into commercial or anything.
But that's gotta be a 200 amp service, right?
I don't know.
But
I think so.
I don't know that I've ever seen.
It's like they
Yeah.
just kept adding and adding to it without
Yeah.
upgrading the
Yeah.
panel. So
And
it's jam-packed pretty full.
it's all things have a limit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. The thing that you don't want to do is get a beautiful room here underneath a beautiful home and have it underpowered.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a 1948 in Durham that started at 60 amps, and now it's a challenge to get 200 with all the electronics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find trap doors in here, secret places. We found a 1890 newspaper
Oh yeah.
in my sister's attic.
Yeah, we haven't found
yeah.
stuff down here so much. I found a couple of old things in the attic.
Good, yeah. That's always fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And wow. That is a very, very full panel.
We actually had tripped one of the breakers for the first time when they were down here doing this, because the dehumidifier was running and they were running a chop saw off the same outlet, and then they had a string of work lights on and everything. So that's the first time we've ever had
Dehumidifier
one.
pulls almost an AC.
Yeah.
And yeah. But this will be a really, really nice room. But what we really wanted to do is I think Doug's already relayed that our need to get it right. And if you don't get it right the first time, you don't get another chance. And
Yep.
to get a couple of pair of eyes on it and sharing the adventure is always fun for me. But it's important that we think about all of the permits necessary.
Yep.
And have everything right down the middle of the book according to our laws and codes. And Bob's real good with that too. But I would very much like to get Harry and look at those plans and or wherever they went. I think the electrician has a copy.
Yeah, I think he's got them right now.
Have an engineer get in here involved, and I've got a very, very good engineer we work with every single day, and on-site structural is John Deal. And if we can allow him to have an opportunity to look at this, what we're going to do is very quickly offer a quote, and I know you're anxious to get one, and have John come in and tell us what to do. I tell people he's a good engineer, and he makes a good build plan, and we execute that. So anyhow, somebody's a woodworker here, a
Yeah.
craftsman. You're a craftsman, yeah. What's your day job?
Just
Yeah.
taking care of stuff at the house for now. So,
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my my hobby currently. So.
It was mine a long time ago in a different life when I was teaching computer science.
Yeah.
But I just got to the point where I didn't enjoy it anymore, and I had to find something else to do.
Yep. Yep.
But you're building furniture.
Yeah, I got that. The bench was my first completed project actually.
Yeah. And it was well done as well.
I cut all the mortises and tenons and the sliding dovetails by hand.
Yeah. Well, it's impressive. There's no question. It's a beautiful workbench. And you'd be amazed that there's so many people have that as a first project.
Yeah, it's a good way to sort of.
Well, it's the thing you build is the thing you're going to build on.
Yep.
You know, what in the devil is this?
It's not me calling you.
No, somebody that wants you. I was coming over here. What was it? A TJ Maxx wants you to go over and take a look at it's, you know,
TJ Maxx.
Robin Hood Road,
Yeah.
TJ Maxx. There's got an event. They sent me an email. But,
Event.
well, that's what I call a repair opportunity. They've got an event,
Oh.
you know. But anyway. Oh. Bob, I had no idea we'd have ceilings like this. You know, and it's a shame that you can't go up 10, 12 feet. I love that, you know, but you gotta have the tubing go somewhere.
Yep.
And the tubing is gonna be the limitation because it needs cubic capacity.
You know, if there were a possibility to sort of leave the ceiling open and disguise or run these things through conduits and use stiff ducts instead of this flexible stuff. That's another thing that we saw next door is they had everything sort of hidden up there, and they basically painted everything black and then ran the ducts and
Sort of somewhat you'd see in a restaurant.
yeah, exactly. You know.
Flat black makes everything disappear.
Yeah, it would look pretty cool.
I would like it. I mean,
We were just
if you're
thinking about
asking an
that.
opinion,
Yeah.
is to get up here and remove all that silver
Yeah.
and that insulation. You might kind of cover it with something. It would be hard because of all the wiring.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the wiring is it's everywhere.
But what you could do is come to the bottom of the LVL and make a faux ceiling or something, and that would take most of it except for your big tubing.
Yeah, just put it down just below the wires and then run the ducts, rerun the ducts below that.
Run
Yeah.
hard ducts.
Yeah, exactly. Hard ducts and then paint them black.
There's a lot of opportunity. I mean, I don't look at that as being offensive.
No, we basically like it except for the wiring and the color of the insulation. I mean, we like insulation in between the two floors, but
Yeah.
when we're gonna heat and cool the space down here, I guess it's not as much of an issue to have insulation up there as it is now. You know, because now all the cold from down here goes.
It won't make a huge difference, but one of the things you'll observe adding insulation would be soundproofing.
Yeah, exactly.
Slightly. But you know, like this area here, if you can just reduce the height a little by adding some 2x4 chips and screwing to that, so you make a little 1.5-inch cavity and have a little bit of that covered, then paint that flat black.
Yeah, because then you can cut access panels in that for all the junction boxes, but since it's black, it's not as noticeable and much higher up.
Let's put plywood on. Let's put 1/2-inch plywood.
Yeah.
And make it an access panel. They drop it down if they need to, and it might be another 100 years before they need to.
Right.
But you can cover some of these things. But that's one thing these projects always do is they evolve.
Yep.
I wonder how much value that the wall insulation is gonna get us on, what is it, 10 or 12-inch blocks? I would love to see that brick.
I know. I would really like it too. There's some parts where, you know, that it looks like obviously that somebody tried to do their own